Hello and welcome. In this video I want to give you an introduction to creating animated flames in Swan. Any animation is driven by motion curves in Swan. A motion curve is a modification of a certain flame attribute over time. You can freely animate any flame attribute this way in parallel. For example, if you want to both move and rotate a flame part over time, you would create 3 motion curves, one curve for the X position, one curve for the Y position, and one curve for the rotation angle. You can also animate any parameter of a nonlinear transform to create really interesting effects. Time measurement in animations. The time in animations is measured by frame numbers, which are whole numbers. Each individual frame number corresponds to one single image that is later generated. The first frame number is equal to 1. The last number is equal to the total number of frames, which can be specified under the animation node in the main editor. Another important value in this section is the FPS value. It specifies how many frames will get assembled to generate 1 second of animation. The higher the FPS, the more frames you must generate, but the smoother the animation will be. Common values are in the range of 25 to 60. You should specify the correct value before creating the actual motion curves. Otherwise, you would need to scale the motion curves later, but this is also possible. Keyframe-based animation. You can also create more classic keyframe-based animations in Swan. In this mode, the motion curves are created automatically for you, and you can also modify them later. To create a keyframe-based animation, first create the initial setup for your flame. In some cases, it may be necessary or useful to remove any existing motion curves first. To do so, open the Motion Curves editor by pressing the Motion Curves button in the main editor. Inside the Motion Curves editor, press the Remove All button to remove all existing motion curves, and then press the Apply button to accept the changes. I will explain the Motion Curves editor later in this video. After you finish the initial setup of your flame, move the frame slider to a point where you want to create a keyframe. Then modify the flame attribute you want to animate, and Swan will create a motion curve for you. When you later add more keyframes or modify keyframes, the motion curve will be automatically updated. To add another keyframe, again, move the frame slider to the desired frame position and again change the value. Continue this way with all attributes you want to animate. You can always preview the animation by pressing the Play or Play LREs button. You can then fine-tune or edit your animation using the Motion Curves editor. The Motion Curves editor. In the list on the left, you see all existing motion curves. You can switch between them at any time, and there is also an option to visualize all of them at the same time. This is useful if you want to synchronize keyframes of different attributes. You can both move and stretch the view as well as the curve itself. By pressing the Auto Size View button, the currently selected curve is displayed as a whole. You can modify the keyframe values by first selecting a keyframe and then dragging the point with the mouse. This only changes the value of the attribute at this keyframe, not the keyframe position. To change the keyframe position, you can't use the mouse, but instead enter the new value in the edit field. To add new points, press the Add Point button and add as many points as you want. When finished, press the Add Point button again to exit the Add Point mode. To remove points, do the same using the Remove Point button. When you are done, press the Apply button. This will apply all changes you made to any curve. To cancel your changes, press the Cancel button. All changes to confirmed using the Apply button can be undone in the main editor by clicking at the Undo button. Looped motion curves. To create looped animations, there's an option called isLooped under the Animation node. When this option is enabled, Swan automatically creates a looped motion curve in the background, which has the same end value as the start value and creates a nice transitioning curve. In some cases, this may not lead to the desired result. For example, when the edited start and end values are too different. Use the loop frames value to specify a number of frames that should be reserved to create a smoother transition. By default, this automatically looped motion curve is also displayed in the preview, which helps to see how the final animation of the corresponding flame parameter will look. Previewing the animation. When no keyframe is selected, you can move the frame indicator. In this case, a preview at this frame position is created and displayed in the background. You can also see the actual interpolated values near the frame indicator. To preview the actual animation in the Motion Curves editor, press the Play or Play from Start button. The Play button will preview the animation from the currently selected frame. Manually creating motion curves. The easiest way to manually create a motion curve for a certain flame attribute is to navigate to this attribute in the main editor and then press the right mouse button on the label of this attribute. This will open the Motion Curves editor and automatically create a motion curve for this attribute, or show an existing motion curve if one already exists. All attributes that have a motion curve assigned show an indicator C, which stands for curve, or in the label. Motion curve modulation. You can modify motion curves by overlaying numerical functions onto them. This is called curve modulation. To enable curve modulation, press the modulation checkbox. This will modulate a selected motion curve with a sine wave. In case of a looped curve, the looped curve will be modulated. You may change several parameters of the function at the top, which should be self-explanatory. After changing a parameter, the preview of the motion curve is updated, so you immediately see the effect of the change. You may also choose another function or create your own. Any valid mathematical expression in the GDS script language is allowed. To see a list of the available functions, hover over the large Edit field, which shows a large tooltip. You may also combine existing functions with your own expressions. For example, add a constant to the expression to move the modulation part of the curve up or down. You can edit a modulated curve like any other curve. For example, move keyframes or add or delete them. By default, the modulation is added to the selected motion curve, but you may also multiply the motion curve by the modulation expression or replace the curve completely. Here is a large area to play around, where the preview helps a lot. When previewing the animation, you see the final modulated numeric values in the preview, indicated by a red dot. This is the end of this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next. Bye.